Broussard's going to unveil his official MVP ballot right here on First Things First. He looks good. I like the suit. I like the way it fits. Yeah. Working for him. Crazy finish to the regular season. Can't wait to see how that all shakes out. All right, Knicks got to hand out some NBA medals. So LeBron had a team-high 25 in the Lakers win over the Pelicans yesterday. Did roll his ankle late, but Frank Vogel said he's good to go for the play-in. Still concerns me. That's not important now. Nick, who did it better than Bron this weekend?
Final day of the medals. And by the way, about, I would say, 9:14 a.m. Eastern, the final year medal standings. The leader is going to shock you. That coming up later. But our final day of the medals, bronze medal, Kevin Durant. Started the game at 8 for 8. Was spectacular yesterday in a game. I know the Cavs stink, but the Nets had to have this game. If they had lost it, they'd be playing Miami in round 1 as the 3 seed. KD, 23, 8, and 13. Super efficient. Silver medal, Julius Randle from Saturday night when the Knicks locked up the 4-5. They end up being the 4. Julius Randle, 33, 10, and 13 in an overtime critical win for the Knicks over the Hornets. Julius Randle gets a silver. And, of course, the gold, Steph Curry, 46, 7, and 9.
No doubt.
Another 30-point half for Steph Curry. 9 threes in this game, and nobody even raises their eyebrows at it. 9 threes, not that long ago, would be the most any player hit in a game all season. For Steph, I don't think it's one of his, I think it's like tied for his 7th most this season, because I think he has 6-10 three-pointer games. Steph Curry gets the gold on the final day of the year. Standings coming up about an hour from now for final medal standings, Jenna.
Solid 3, but who just missed the cut? Kevin Wildes.
Oh, what a weekend for Sacramento. Chris Webber gets into the Hall of Fame, so Kyle Guy's like, you know what? We could have 2 highlights. Not only could Chris Webber get in the Hall of Fame, I could pull off this windmill. It would be great for all of Northern California. Yet, alas, Sacramento comes up short. But you know what? Weber's still in the Hall of Fame, so overall, a good weekend for the Kings.
And that ball still didn't fall. Back talk on the latest in Green Bay. Has Aaron Rodgers made up his mind about leaving the frozen tundra? To be discussed next. Welcome back on a Monday morning. All right, with the NBA season coming to a close, Knicks handing out his NBA awards, still wearing the suit, talking Defensive Player of the Year here. Nick, who you got?
Nothing like a good 3-button suit with an oversized collar. Bam Adebayo, Heat culture joy, he comes in 3rd. Rudy Gobert's going to win this award. He should not win this award. He should come in 2nd. Because the most impactful defensive player of the year was one Ben Simmons. We talk about what Ben can't do. We don't spend nearly enough time talking about what Ben can do. He has been, even more so than Embiid, the most impactful and important defender on the league's 2nd best defense. The Sixers were never able to quite catch the Lakers for best defense in basketball. They had to settle for best defense in the Eastern Conference. Ben Simmons is the biggest reason why. He can credibly guard all 5 positions. He is going to be an absolute handful for Jimmy Butler in round 2, and then for James Harden, who I think he would guard in round 3 if they play them, or Giannis if they play them in round 3. So I think Ben Simmons should be Defensive Player of the Year. I would be shocked if he won it, because Rudy Gobert's defensive VORP is just too high to actually watch Ben Simmons play and give him the award. But so Ben Simmons, Defensive Player of the Year in my book.
All right, good stuff. More awards to hand out. Coming up, we got to talk some Steph Curry first and his incredible stretch, capped off by dropping 46 in a win over the Grizzlies yesterday. So that wraps up the 8th seed for the Warriors. It also wraps up the scoring title for Steph Curry. John Morant walked away from that game super impressed, tweeting, MVP, no debate. LeBron also said Steph is, quote, the MVP of our league. More now from the King.
Just look what he's done this year. I mean, there's nobody, everybody counting him out this year. Everybody saying that, well, now that, Klay is hurt, can Steph lead a team on his own? What is he going to be able to do? Can he carry a team on his own? Can he carry a team into the postseason? Can he keep a team afloat? He's done that and more. If you're looking for MVP, if Steph is not on Golden State's team, then What are we looking at? And we get caught up in the record sometimes. We get caught up in who has the best record, and instead of just saying who had the best season that year. And Steph has had, in my opinion, the best season all year. And it was the same, when Russ won the MVP. Russ was, first guy to have a triple-double in the season since the Big O, and everyone threw the records out the window then when he won it. And I think, you look at what he's doing, Steph is just like, Russ deserved it that year. And obviously I don't think Steph is going to get it because, it's another conversation. But in my eyes, he's played the best basketball all year round.
All right, so Nick, Steph did have a good season. He did have an incredible stretch, but the Warriors are where the Warriors are. Is LeBron right that he should be the MVP, Steph Curry?
Listen, I don't think Steph is the MVP, but almost everything else LeBron said, his rationale for it, I agree with and I understand. Now, before I explain why, let me, I'm a pretty good LeBron James translator. And this, like a lot of his comments, are partially about the person he's talking about and partially about himself. So LeBron knows, like, for instance, in 2006, his team won 50 games. The second and third leaders on that team in minutes were Eric Snow and Zydrunas Ilgauskas, and he finished second in MVP voting to Steve Nash. In 2018, his team won 50 games. The second leaders in the team in minutes were J.R. Smith and Jeff Green, and he finished second in MVP voting. So when he's like, we get a little too caught up in the records, what would that team be without him? That's him advocating for Steph, and also, I think, retroactively advocating for himself. But while I wouldn't vote Steph MVP, what LeBron said in the middle part there is, to me, absolutely right and incredibly important. Steph did prove something this year that I think he proved more this year, Joy, than he proved the last time they won the title in 2018, that year with Kevin Durant. I think this year he answered the question unequivocally, is Steph Curry by himself an automatic playoff berth? And the answer is yes. And you might say, well, Nick, they're the 8th seed. They barely got in, and we'll see about the play-in. Well, yeah, but this team also played at a 48-win pace in the games he played in. They were 2-7 in the 9 he missed. They have no other elite or even very good offensive players on the entire roster. And Steph Curry was an offense unto himself. And last night or yesterday afternoon was a great example. They had to win that game. He said, I can do the Iverson just at a higher efficiency level. I'll take 35 shots to do it. He had the scoring title locked up minutes into the game. He wasn't gunning for the scoring title. He just knew this is how we can win. So I do think there was always the question, Joy, of, all right, we know that Steph is a better all-time player than Russ. But could Steph have done for the 2017 Thunder what Russ did? Say, get on my back, I'll win the scoring title, I'll carry us to the playoffs. And Steph answered that question this year as yes. So I understand his MVP case. He wouldn't get my vote. Chris Paul would. But I think everything else LeBron is saying there, to me, resonates quite strongly.
Yeah, I agree. This has been probably my favorite year of Steph's career because there was so much kind of disrespect before the season started about what Steph was really capable of. And he was like, sometimes you got to show everybody this is what I do. This is what I do. And he did it. So I love it. I say he's 1A to CP3 because, in my opinion, Chris Paul is the MVP. Because to me, Chris Paul represents a mixture of everything that we use to evaluate what the MVP is. Everything that LeBron just said makes sense. And I do think the record should count for something. I mean, the criteria for who the MVP is changes every single year, and it maddens me. And I don't like having the conversation about what happens in the postseason because it's a regular season award as well. But if you just focus on the word value, who has the most value to their team? Obviously, that's why I put Steph at 1A, because Steph has proven how valuable he is and how he can carry a team. But Chris Paul has the Phoenix Suns with the second best record in the West. They went from 19 to 34 to 51 wins. He is clearly the one who made that happen. He was the elements that pushed them into this winning state that they're in and making them into contenders. So if I'm going off of who is the MVP with a mixture of all the weird things that we use to create the criteria for the MVP every year, it's Chris Paul for me, but Steph is 1A. What he's done this year has been incredible. I've loved watching it. I've loved watching him shut the haters up, or people that say he's a part of that system, or people that say he's just a shooter. He's an incredible all-time great, and this was maybe my favorite year of his career.
Okay. I like Chris Paul as well, Joy, and I'm a little bit bummed out that LeBron didn't really rally any votes for Chris Paul, because as you know, the MVP is a campaign, and I think LeBron had a good opportunity to say, you know what, my guy CP3, my banana boat buddy here, he deserves more votes. I wanted people to do that. He didn't do that. He got behind Steph, which is nice. Tinfoil hat theory, Nick. Get ready. If you have any Reynolds wrap, throw it on your head. This is just more of the year-long flirting between LeBron and Steph. Oh, love him on the All-Star game, giving him